What's an utterly ridiculous fact from history that is absolutely true? The Dancing Plague of 1518, where 50 to 400 people danced uncontrollably for weeks. Hiro Onoda was a Japanese soldier who fought in World War II and refused to stop fighting until 1974. In the Philippines he was ordered to never surrender or take his own life. He refused to believe the war ended in 1945 and took to the hills. Onoda was eventually found in 1974 and had to be officially relieved from duty by his old commanding officer before he gave up. Caligula didn't try to make his horse consul. No one in 2000 years has read that passage correctly. It comes in a list of ridiculous things he did for that horse. Send it food from his table. Enforce quiet hours when it was sleeping. All kinds of silly stuff. Suetonius tells us those are facts. Then he says, it was said he intended to make his horse consul. When Suetonius uses phrases like, it was said, he's telling you he's gossiping. This making the horse consul thing was a political joke of the style of SNL in ancient Rome. Caligula does all this ridiculous stuff for the horse. And people even said he wanted to make it consul. It's a joke that no one for 2000 years has understood. Because they didn't read carefully. They read for salaciousness. It's the equivalent of someone today believing Palin really said she could see Russia from her house. And if that's not ridiculous, I don't know what is. There was a battle in World War II where the Allies and Nazis teamed up to retake a castle held by rogue SS forces that were also holding a star tennis player prisoner. In UK medieval times. Also think Henry VIII era. The king would have someone to wipe his ass for him in the toilet. This was a highly prized position in upper-class society. Highly prized as you could talk to the king in private. Think of it like a lobbyist. And also gain info from him as well due to just the two of them being left alone for a while and various conversations would start. Due to various circumstances in the 1970s and 80s, the USSR traded Navy ships, submarines with Pepsi. To the point that Pepsi became the sixth largest navy, having 17 submarines, a cruiser, frigate and a destroyer to the company, as well as several oil tankers. The ships were later sold as they were not seaworthy and would cost more to maintain, repair than they were worth. The defenestration of Prague reads like a fucking Monty Python skit. A sitting president in the United States tried to declare himself king like really recently. He went on tape asking Georgia to make up a bunch of votes for him. Then had the audacity to declare the fact that when he lost it was a conspiracy against him. After personally conspiring to steal an election that was literally captured on video. https www.youtube.com/watch V equals FBIG 5 TV 0 FZK and T equals 2823s. Learned in history class that the word fuck comes from the 100 Years' War and means to hit or penetrate something as they would do in a battle, but also during sex. A character on Star Trek Voyager was boring. Got replaced. And due to her popularity, a sex scandal of sorts resulted. Her husband lost the Senate seat he was in to Barack Obama. So basically, a boring character on Star Trek Butterfly rippled us President Obama. A couple nobles came to a castle in Erfurt to have a meeting. And the floor below them gave way under their weight and fell straight into a latrine. Latrines are basically tanks for poop and piss. 60 people died. Romans would have sex with other males, especially when they were at war away from other females. Most if not all Romans were homophobic but still did this. The Irish briefly invaded Canada from the US to fight the Brits. Napoleon planned the stealing of the crown with the Pope and people wete still shocked. The Emperor Caligula declared war with Neptune, the god of sea, and fought the ocean. In World War II, the Norwegian whaling fleet in Antarctica was captured. No casualties on either side. By the German merchant raider Penguin. 7 U.S. Navy destroyers wrecked themselves at the same spot. Honda Point off the coast of California in the 1920s, all in the same night. The U.S. Air Force dropped a nuclear bomb on South Carolina. Royal intermarriages. Incest was common in medieval Europe. The resulting offspring were understandably fuglies. Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. https://article/51364/time-Napoleon-was-attacked-rabbits. The US and Britain almost started a war because someone didn't fence their garden in. For further information, look up the Pig War. The British national anthem was originally French and abort saving the king of an anal fistula. History is hysterical. The entire history of human civilization. Like seriously, if aliens heard our entire story. Especially the parts on the Russians. Had a pet fucking bear in the military. And a 5 feet tall man who killed 500 in less than a week. Floridians. Their news stories. Australians. How they survive and how they lost a war to emus.